Hey friend, welcome back to Chronic Health Solutions. If you have been following our inflammation mini-series, then you know that we've talked about stress, sleep, and gut health, which are key pieces to calming your body. But today we're going to be taking a deeper dive into something that many people don't know enough about, and that is the emotional overwhelm that often comes with chronic illness, and how that overwhelm can actually fuel inflammation and symptoms. If you are feeling stuck, exhausted, or like your body and mind just can't catch a break, then this episode is for you. Let's get started. Welcome to Chronic Health Solutions. If you are more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I've been where you are, battling chronic health symptoms such as brain fog, joint pain, and fatigue that made me wonder if I'd ever feel like myself again. After uncovering root causes like stress, poor sleep, and hormone imbalance, I found simple health routines to feel better, one habit at a time. Keeping up with your kids is not impossible. Pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time. Okay, if you are like me, then when you're living with chronic symptoms, it is very, very common for you to feel like you have to push through and do all the things to get better, and also that you can't stop and rest because you have so much to take care of. But here is the truth. Emotional overwhelm and mental stress aren't just side effects, they're active contributors to the inflammation and symptom flare-ups in your body. Your nervous system can get stuck in this pattern, again, like we've talked about, of alarm and exhaustion that keeps the pain and fatigue going. So today I want to share some tools with you that are going to help to break this cycle, not by doing more, but by nurturing your emotional well-being and then kind of balancing your energy throughout the day and rebuilding your resilience gently. I can remember a time whenever I felt like I was at my lowest, just overwhelmed by not being able to function, not being able to care for my kids, having brain fog, not being able to get up off the couch, and then just this endless list of what I should be doing. One, to take care of my family, to take care of my kids, and then also to make myself feel better. And every day just felt like this test of willpower. Like, can I push myself enough to do the next thing? You know, I would push myself to try this diet or to try this supplement or try this exercise or push myself to make sure that the kids had this thing that they need or that. But instead of feeling better, I just felt burned out and stuck. It wasn't until I started listening to what was going on emotionally as well, those feelings of overwhelm, of frustration, of guilt, that I noticed that I was able to start addressing those and things began to change. I realized that my mind and body were, again, in this feedback loop of stress. And I needed to pause and learn to take care of myself emotionally while also healing physically. So let's talk about overwhelm and what it does to your body, and then how we can start breaking that cycle. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, again, your body's stress response activates. Your brain signals your adrenal glands to release cortisol and adrenaline. Those are, like we've talked about in the stress episode, it's really helpful in short bursts. But that chronic, constant activation is going to keep your immune system on edge, and it's going to increase inflammation. Plus, we know that overwhelm can cause things like shallow, rapid breathing, which means you're not breathing well, muscle tension, poor sleep, digestive issues, fatigue, and brain fog. So it is not just emotional, it also becomes a physical cycle. So let's talk about some tools that we can use to break that overwhelm cycle. One is to have compassion for ourselves. And for me, this is like compassionate self-talk. So notice the voice in your head when you talk to yourself, especially about yourself. Is it harsh? Is it critical? Try replacing that with kindness instead. For example, I'm doing my best today, and that's enough. And if we can practice this daily, it can rewire our nervous system towards safety. Number 2 is energy pacing. So instead of pushing through the pain or the fatigue, instead just break it up into smaller tasks and do tiny little steps. Use a timer, work for 10 minutes, then give yourself 5 minutes of rest. And then just remember to honor your limits. Notice this again, like I talked about last week, really trying to learn how to be in tune with our body and realize what's going on with our body is vital for this step, because you have to learn what your limits are and then respect those limits. You just have to accept, like, this is where my body is now. And while I may not like it, it is where it is. I'm going to honor it where it's at, because me continuing to push myself is not going to help with me beginning to feel better and to begin to heal. So Maybe it is that I work for 10 minutes and then I have to rest for 10, or I work for 10 and I rest for 5, whatever it is. Just work to figure out what works for your body and then just work around whatever you can do. And this is also going to help to prevent your body from crashing, because I used to be in this cycle where I would push, and then like I couldn't do anything for a couple of days because I had pushed myself so hard. And I'm sure many of you have experienced that as well. Whereas if we could just really learn, okay, this is the limit I can do, and I'm going to respect that and work within that, then we don't have those days upon days where we're trying to recover from pushing ourselves so hard. Okay, number 3 is mindful check-ins. So we talked about this in, I think, episode 156, but pause 2 to 3 times a day to check in with your body and your mind. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Do I feel any tension in my body? Is there anything that I need right now? Can I take a short break, or maybe take a couple of minutes to take a few deep breaths? And then really just take those times to make that a habit where you're checking in with yourself. Number 4 is boundary setting. This can be hard sometimes, but learning to say no, or I can't right now, and then just realizing that you can't do everything for everyone all the time. Learning, okay, these are the things that I just physically can't do, or these are the things that I find very draining, or these are the things that are just aren't important to me right now. And understanding that it's okay, it's not selfish to say no, and we have to prioritize what is most important to us. And everyone has different seasons of lives where maybe something that isn't important to us is important to them. And that's totally okay, but it's learning to respect our own boundaries and just say, okay, I'm not able to do that right now. I'm sorry. And that can really help us to get out of the overachieving or the constantly going, the habits where we're just constantly pushing ourselves. Okay, number 5 is gentle self-care rituals. So finding those small, nurturing habits that are going to soothe and just calm your nervous system. This could be things like a warm bath. It could be listening to calming music. It could be stretching. Maybe it's diffusing some essential oils or coloring. My Bible is one of the creative Bibles. It's the coloring one. And especially in like the winter, I love turning on some relaxing music on YouTube, putting it up on my TV and coloring. It is like one of my favorite things to do in the colder months. So maybe it's something like that for you, or maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's going for a walk. These rituals can just remind your body that it is okay to rest. And also, again, it reminds your body that it is safe. Okay, so here is your invitation for this week. Choose one emotional resilience tool to practice alongside any physical habits that you've been working on within the last few weeks. So let's talk about them one more time. Compassionate self-talk, pacing your energy, mindful check-ins, boundary setting, and then gentle self-care rituals. So maybe you're starting with that compassionate self-talk journal, or maybe you're setting a boundary with a friend or a family member, or just pausing for 3 minutes of taking some deep breaths whenever you're really starting to feel overwhelmed. Whatever it is, again, we're trying to stack these habits on top of each other. That's why we've been focusing on this as a mini series, so that you can really begin to stack each habit, that one habit you chose for the 1 week. You're practicing that, and then we're stacking the next one on top of it. I just want to encourage you that healing is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that takes time. It really is a journey. And I would love to hear how this has all been going for you. Have you been practicing? Have you chosen your one thing each week for this series? And how has it been going? Come join us over in our free Facebook community, which I will have linked down below, or reach out to me on social media, which will also be linked down below. And let me know how it's been going for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back next time. Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a quick minute to share it with another mom who is struggling with chronic health issues? And please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know that this podcast is helping you. All right, time for me to tackle the snack request, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins, even when it feels messy. You're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. This podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You are the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.